Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from InkyButterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me today for another card making video. We are doing Inspire Create Challenge today. So our challenge is to use any pink, any yellow and any blue. So it gives you lots and lots of options depending on the supplies you have. So I decided that I'd throw together colours that were in the same colour family, just because if you buy those together you could get a saving. It's a bundle of ink pads for so you get 10 in each colour family, and you will get that saving. So our sample card uses Melon Mambo, Azure Afternoon and Daffodil Delight, which are all brights. Okay, so obviously there's subtles that you could use as well in that kit, in that collection. So popping those to one side, the stamp set is the Bright Borders stamp set, which coordinates with one of the punches that's available now as well. Okay, so this one comes with another stamp set if you want a bundle, but this is another set that actually coordinates with it, which I actually prefer. Okay, so that's what we're using today. It does come with sentiment, so I've just used one of those rather than bringing in anything else. Use that little stamp to use to make a background, which I've brought through into the centre as well. So for our colour palette for the demo today, we're going to use the In Colours. So Moody Mauve is kind of pink, and Wild Wheat's kind of yellow, and Boho Blue is most definitely blue. So we're going to use those today. These are going to be retiring in the summer, so you know these are really great colours. So we'll be working with them reasonably a little bit more over the next few months, so I can get the most out of them. Okay, so then let's make a start. So supplies wise, we're going to use our silver and white ribbon here, just to put in a little bit of fluff and fancy. So, and then I've got 2 panels, one for the outside, one for the inside. I've already die cut a square just so that it's done, and we've got a plain white card base. Okay, so we'll pop the square to one side for a moment. So our 2 panels, one for the inside, one for the outside, and we're going to stamp with the Wild Wheat onto the we're going to use the Wild Wheat. Now there's a question. Might switch it up a bit actually. I might go with Moody Mauve actually. Let's do that. Let's switch it around. Let's go with that instead. Moody Mauve. Nice. Sort of a dusky pink is what I would describe that as. So I'm going to use some scrap paper, grid paper, copy paper, whatever you've got that will just protect your surface, because we're going off the page, and we'll need this little, and don't stick your finger in your ink pad. There we go. Let's get that wiped away. Water-based ink, it will come out. Really great way to get ink off your fingers is to wash your hair. Okay, so if you're going to do a day of stamping, wash your hair in the evening. Okay, so we're just going to do a bit of stamping. So just loading up the ink there, you can still see it, yep, and start wherever really, and we'll just move that along, just twist it a little. This is for the inside as you go, and you'll get slightly different flowers and leaves and dottage and things that's on this stamp appearing. Okay. Catch the edges, just make sure your corners are filled, otherwise it looks a bit like you've missed a bit. So there, you see. Okay, so that's the inside done, no problem. I'll pop that over there to one side. And then for our background, similar thing, but instead of twisting your wrist all the time, you can actually sort of twiddle your paper, which means you sort of giving the impression of rotating the stamp. You can rotate it as well. I'll do a few in that direction, do a few in this direction. And then you'll get a bit more of a random look. So I've just twisted it in my hand again, and we'll go around again. And you can kind of go the other way if you think that's going to help. So we're just filling it in. It doesn't have to be perfect, but again, just make sure you go to the edges. And once you get sort of out to the edge, you can kind of just fill out those corners the best way it fits. Like so. There we go, background done. Okay, a few little open spaces here and there. That one just looks a little empty up there, but if your edges are covered, it works. Don't know why it does, but it must be something to do with how the eye looks at that detail. But that is done. Off to one side, just to dry completely. If you take the worst of the ink off, it means you get transfer less to your cleaning tools. So we'll just get that cleaned off, because I like to clean them as I go. Okay, and then we can do our little bit in the middle. So this is where I die cut the what do you call it, a square from. That is a square. Goodness me. I think we'll do Wild Wheat for the frame. So there's what is there, 3 stamps, 4 stamps, 3 different patterns you can opt for. I thought we'd just go with this nice sort of leaf, kind of wreath style. Okay, get that wiped off as well, and then our blue ink is going to do our sentiments. So you can pick out something from another set if you want to. So that O has just got a little bit of excess ink on it, so I'm just going to wipe that a little bit and not be quite so rough with that. Open letters will sometimes pick up those puddles of ink, so just sort of drop it on and not press too hard if that's happening to you. So these ink pads, because they're reasonably new in terms of my collection, some of my ink pads I've had, well, they all switched over a side, the cases changed, and then so I got new cases, but I mean that must be like 5 years ago or something like that. So, and a lot of them I haven't even actually re-inked. The ink lasts ages. If you do a lot of ink blending, you might need to re-ink a little bit more frequently, but generally speaking they're really, really good inks, and they come very juicy, almost too juicy actually. Oh right, so I've put that in and I've stamped it so far to the right it has, the punch won't reach, so I'm just going to snip that off so that I can get the punch in, and I've caught that corner. So there we go. So I'm just looking to get those points in particular lined up, and then we can just punch that out, and that's our little topper there, ready to go. Those can be recycled. Okay, and then we've got our square, so let's just pop those to one side for a second. So what I want to do is decide what colour I'm going to ink blend onto the back of this, and or whether I want to ink blend at all. So what I thought was the busy background without the square, the shape gets lost. It needed something to bring it back to the front, which is why I thought about putting the square behind it, because it is a sort of regular shape. Probably could get away with a circle. I didn't try a circle, but you probably could. So these are the stitch shapes. It's hard to imagine when it's just a die, but you could probably get away with a circle if you wanted to switch it up. And then of course those are those are stylish shapes, but there's loads of other circle dies that you could use as well. So I'm wondering whether actually the accent needs to come from the wild wheat actually. So let's do that just to switch that up a little bit. Okay, so let's pop those to one side for a second. We will need our scrap paper back and a blending brush. This one. So just literally touch the ink pad there, and because I don't want lots of ink, I only want a little bit. Okay, really light touch, so I'm holding the brush at the very end of the handle. I'm not holding it up here, which will put more pressure onto the brush and apply more ink. I'm going to go real light and move my hand down the brush and just let the weight of the actual brush itself be the pressure I need to apply that ink. Now, doesn't it look soft when you apply it really gently? Okay, now what I'm going to do though is just go a little harder over the very edge. So holding that brush further down now to apply a little bit more pressure, smaller circles just to keep it towards the edge there. So it is a dome, so it looks like it's coming in a little bit, but that domed part is where the ink will be transferring. Okay, so that's intensified the edge. Okay, and then I think what would enhance that a little more is going around the edge. Now you can do that in a couple of ways. We can use the ink pad like this. Okay, if you've got the Stampin' Up markers, the water-based markers, you can do it with that, and you can do it with the stamping blends. Now I am not swiping through. This is a foam ink pad, so if you're rough with it you will damage the surface, so just lightly tapping on the edge there to apply some of that darker colour. I'll just go around a couple of those a little bit again. Just a little bit more there. There we go. So that's going to really frame that. Okay, you just want to bear in mind that that might be a little bit on the wet side. Okay, but there we go. So now when we put that on there, that's going to enhance that a little bit, and at least you can see that shape coming through. Okay, wondering if the blue would have been better, but that's fine. You know what, it's fine, you do you. If you think another colour would be better, then you can use that. Right, so I'll choose some tape now to secure some ribbon across this. So obviously this will sort of stay put a little better than like the you know, any seal or whatever. Can you seal plus, whatever. But this is obviously inexpensive. We don't need to be using all our nice posh supplies on bits that aren't seen. So there we go, that just secures that in place. Okay, and then we can pop some dimensionals onto the back of this fresh sheet. Look at this. So a couple. Oh, probably should have done it the other way. What I mean by that is that's going to stick over ribbon, which isn't always the best with a dry adhesive, so we'll put ones there as well. If you need to, you can put some multi-purpose over the top of this, so you've still got the dimension but you get the strength from the multi-purpose glue. All our adhesives have different properties and are useful for different things. And of course, everyone has a preference as to what they like to use. Okay, so let's do our bow next. So that's ready to apply. So I'm leaving it on the roll, and I'm going to make my little bunny loops, bunny ear loops. Make sure you've got enough though. Don't there's loads on a roll, so give yourself a break and make sure you've got enough to tie your bow. And at least with this end you can kind of minimise the waste. Okay, there we go, that's looking cool. So sometimes when you squish your knot, you kind of upset the shape of your bow, but just do that, and then when you're happy with it, one last tug real tight, and that should hold it in place. Okay, then we can get your, oh goodness me, sorry, fingers and thumbs today. So get your ends even, cut them at the same time like that, and so long as your tails are stick out further than your loops, it doesn't look odd. It always looks a bit strange if your little tails sort of disappear. Okay, and then we can start popping this together. Okay, so in fact let's do the inside first. So a few strips of adhesive onto the back of this and onto the car panel for the front. Don't know what it is with my hands today, I just can't pick anything up. Really strange. Right, okay. This one on the inside. Which keeps that all nice and finished. And then pop this one onto the front. Okay, give that a good sharp crease. Okay, and then we can pop this on. I think I'm gonna be extra lavish and add some more dimensionals to this, just to help with that lift from the background. The other one I stuck it down flat, and again, up to you whether you want to go that far with it. I know in some areas that extra embellishments and things that make a card thicker and heavier means quite a hike in the postage, so you know, use your judgment for your area. And then the best adhesive ever for sticking bows on are glue dots. Okay, So it's a pressure adhesive, so just press hard, the glue dot will lift off its release paper, and then you can position it where you need to, and that's really nice and secure. Okay, what I haven't done is added any gems to any of these, so with oh yes, let's use these will do, because they're a sort of yellower kind of colour. These are called antique pearls, these are new, so let's use these. We've got 3 sizes, yes we have, even better. Even better. Right, pokey tool or take your pick. Okay, so I can do my nice little trio of pearls here. So, oops, big, little and medium, like the 3 bears. Might even put it there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And same with this one. Ooh. Ooh. I was very obviously concentrating very hard then, wasn't I? Okay, right. So, and then pop that on there. Rightio, there we go. Those are nice. Fantastic. So there's our card today. So any pink, any blue, any yellow you like. I've stuck to some colour families. You don't have to, of course. You can use whatever you like. So same design can make, and you know, switching things around, you can get a completely different look from that layout. Okay, so I like to give you a couple of suggestions on using it, and it just means that you've got lots of ideas that you can mix, match, and do your own thing with. Okay, so I hope that's been informative and you've enjoyed watching that. Don't forget to check out the Inspire Create blog post. It'll be linked in the description, and you can upload a photo of your project there as well, and that'll run till next Wednesday. Okay, so and then obviously on that blog post you'll see everybody else's design team makes as well, and I'm sure they'll have made totally different things. Thanks ever so much for joining me. Stay safe, take care, see you soon, bye.